Hey folks, Dr. Newberry here. I wanted to walk you through just a brief tutorial on how to use Galileo, which is the tool you're going to be required to use for your final paper in my class. This is the main shell that we're in here in our section. If you click on Library, it's going to load up Galileo. And Galileo is a collection of databases that you bought access to when you paid your tuition. So you can't simply Google Galileo when you're not on a computer that's connected to this system. It does cost money and you did pay for it. And you also can't use any sources off the web. You're going to need to use this. Now, the best way to get into Galileo, first off, is avoid this thing. Do not use this giant, search box here. It's not going to be very helpful. What you should do instead is go into Browse by Subject, go ahead and locate the literature and literary criticism databases. Now these are several, and some are devoted directly to literature like the Reference Center, and some are more broad like the Academic Search Complete. I like the Reference Center a lot, so I'm going to click on that and I'm going to show you how to use it. It's a great database, and it'll avoid returning a bunch of different types of articles that won't be useful for your paper. You can do an advanced search, which will open up several things, and you can use these Boolean operators. But we'll also identify, or it'll recognize the Boolean operators without using this advanced search. So I'm going to go with Death of a Salesman here. And see, it pops right up. And let's try the character of Happy and see what happens. Before we get there, though, let's scroll down here and make sure we click on Full Text and Peer Reviewed. These two are very important. Don't forget to click on those. This tells you can get the entire article on your computer screen, and this tells you that it's a peer-reviewed journal. It's a credible source. So let's search and see what comes up. All right, so we have two sources, What Is and What Ain't, American Hustle, Miller's Death of a Salesman. Let's click on this for a second. The abstract, that's your best friend as a researcher. That's going to tell you exactly what the article is about. This is from the Explicator, which is a great little journal, very short essays usually. The audience for these essays is often undergraduates, so it's not going to be anything above your head. And I don't say that in any dismissive way. I love the Explicator. I use it often. I think it's a great journal, and the articles are relatively short. You can see this is a really short one. Now you can get it here. You can also click on PDF, and it'll bring the whole thing up in front of you, just as it's printed in the journal, right? And so you see it's just a couple of pages, right? It's a wonderful, wonderful source to use. If we want to go back over here, oops, I didn't mean to do that. Go back to our results list and take a look at how to read this citation. I'll show you. This tells us our author and our source. What you don't, please do not cut and paste that. A lot of students do that. That's not the way you cite this. Just right over here, click on Cite. It's going to bring up this list. If we roll down, there's MLA. All you need to do is cut and paste that into your document. Now, of course, you would need to change the font to Times New Roman, the font size to 12, make sure it retains the italics, here and here. You'd also want to italicize this because it is the title of a play, right? So that's that particular database, and it's really easy to use. The other one that you may find useful might be Academic Search Complete. Again, it's a bigger one. It indexes stuff that's much bigger than, it's broader than literature. So let's click on Full Text, Peer Reviewed Journal Articles, do an advanced search again. We'll do the same thing, Death of a Salesman. Let's add Arthur Miller this time, and because I think that will keep us from returning some sources we don't want to use. And let's try Biff this time and not Happy. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we have 6 things that kind of pop up here. I'll click on the first one. Here's a great one. Second one here. Another one here, right? Let's see. So this tells us that, this is going to get, once again, be your abstract, tells you what the article's about before you actually want to look at it. You can't cite these, by the way. Don't ever cite an abstract. It's a little dishonest. Unless there's a particular reason you're doing it. And in this paper, there's no reason to do it. Again, this tells us where it came from. You can get the PDF right here. You can also cite the source right over here. Now, please don't use a source that you haven't cited. That would be very dishonest, to be aware of that. So, those are just some basic ways that you would use Galileo. Be sure to cite by the author's last name. And at least in this case, you can have a page number. Sometimes you don't always have page numbers, but and this one you're going to have page numbers. So if you have any trouble navigating the source, please don't hesitate to contact me, and I'll do what I can. Beyond that, take care, and I wish you the best of luck.